You know, even in such contentious and divisive times as now, there is at least one thing we can all agree on, namely that small businesses should be aided and helped out in their quest to compete with the mega corporations that ever more so have us all by the collective testicles. And that is why I applaud the United Kingdom's Department for Culture, Media and Support when they announced that they will be awarding a few £1 million to tiny startup companies like Creative Assembly. Applause to Creative Assembly. You have managed to defraud the United Kingdom's government for millions of pounds. Unironically, congratulations. As of course, I am wholeheartedly a proponent of screwing the government out of however much money you possibly can. But on the other hand, seriously, United Kingdom, your government is a joke. As Carl Benjamin, yes, Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, points out here, do you people not know who Creative Assembly are? Now, of course, they do know who Creative Assembly are. They've got 800 plus employees at this point. They are an enormous company. They have revenue in the hundreds of millions of dollars. If nothing else, the government must know that because they're paying hundreds of millions in taxes. But the reason why they are getting these funds is, of course, because of people like Emma Smith here, who is a director of talent and social impact. Oh yes, because this is what we call corruption. Rainbow corruption specifically. Creative Assembly paints their profile in the correct colors. They tongue the correct assholes, and they employ people in the correct brown-nosing governmental positions. Oh yes, we too are very much so about diversity and inclusivity, Mr. Government, but we are struggling a little bit with hiring as many brown people as you want us to. Could we have a few $1 million to, scale up a little bit? Scale up beyond 850 employees? From startup to scale up indeed. Oh heavens. This is pure unfeathered corruption and no doubt about it. And here's the thing, on the one hand, again, I applaud Creative Assembly for their ability to defund the government to this extent. Absolutely. Again, screw them out of as much money as you can, but this is money that could have gone to companies, in the actual startup phase, companies in the actual scaling up phase, companies that might actually contribute, and companies who, might actually keep some of that money in Britain, because this is, of course, British taxpayer money, and as you will see here, Creative Assembly describes themselves as a European studio. Not a British one, not a United Kingdom one, a European studio. They could not care less about Britain, as they have demonstrated multiple occasions, and as they are demonstrating right now, with ye old good pride flag, of not the racial alliance, but that's something at least, as this is obviously a foreign ideology. This is the ideology that hoists its own flag in London streets and dumps the Union Jack on the ground. That is this ideology. That is Creative Assembly's ideology, the European company. Money down the drain, UK. Money down the drain to a ridiculous degree, frankly. And if you want any further evidence, well, let's have a look at Hyena, Creative Assembly's next project, featuring such lovely and memorable character as Galaxia here. Yeah. I do like the first response there. Well, she's a guy, so... Creative Assembly hasn't been a very good company in a very long time. Hell, their currently ongoing project, Total War Pharaoh, just looks like an asset flip essentially from Total War Troy, as that failed miserably, and now they're hoping to get something out of it, whilst hopefully getting you to pay for them to beta test features in their next game, as that was all the Saga series was actually for. And this would have been named a Saga game if it weren't for the fact that the Saga Series 2 flopped miserably because, for some weird reason I guess, people objected to paying full price to beta test Creative Assembly's next mechanic. CA are a greedy, greedy little company, and their rainbow capitalism, well, it's stood them in good stead so far. CA's director, they are making sure that they are discussing representation in the video game industry. Of course, she feels privileged about being an ally, and she is talking about why inclusivity matters in the workplace. People could not care less about this. It is political virtue signaling at its finest and nothing else. The company knows this, and the United Kingdom's government knows this as well. And it's a nice way to make sure that their political values are represented in one of the largest industries in the world right now, giving yet further credence, as I say, that the whole thing here is political. Creative Assembly, the small startup company. Oh, God. See, again, what actually just pissed me off about this the most is that this is a company soaked through in this nonsense, absolutely devoured by it. They've got the icon, of course, on their profile, which, hell, considering no other company does these days, is a somewhat brave gesture. They've got it painted on their walls. They've got it spread everywhere. They've got it on their roadmap. They've got it on their Twitter and their profile, which nobody cares about, and so on and so on. And this is a way to extract money from the establishment. It is a way to extract money from the United Kingdom's government. Your money, if you happen to live in the country, is being used to reinforce the politics of a foreign ideology, which you should probably object to, just incidentally. And they are using it to take money away from those who might need it. Part of this could be simply just a good old-fashioned PR stunt. Oh, Creative Assembly is a massive company, and that'll get some more eyeballs on this thing, right? Which gets absolutely no reception whatsoever. There's this £5 million here being flushed down the toilet for a virtue signaling Twitter post that nobody cares about, and those who do care about it tend to not be particularly happy about it because, well, you know. And let me just point out as well here, just for shits and giggles. Let me see here. Yes, here we go. European game studio, founded in 1987. 1987. Department for Culture, Media and Sports, founded in 1997. Creative Assembly, the startup company that's currently scaling up just a little bit, is 10 years older than your entire department. Corruption. Straight up, unironically, absolutely. No question about it. For political means, for PR means, hell, I consider the political means to be more likely, frankly, than merely the eyeballs, because, well, it didn't get much of a reception, did it? Hell, it could also just be that, of course, the elected government politicians literally don't know anything. Never completely disregard the possibility that government employees might just be incredibly stupid, or incompetent, or inept, or simply just actually dumber than your average box of bricks. This is always a possibility. But you would think that just a quick Google search of Creative Assembly would clue them in that they might not fit the criteria for this award. Just, by the by. Well, on the bright side, we can add government taxpayer money theft to the long list of Creative Assembly sins, alongside charging $60 for releasing a DLC bundle 3 times now to an existing video game, along with the other 20-odd pieces of DLC for Total War Warhammer, of course. Creative Assembly, a warning of what is to come and what gaming has become and is probably going to continue to be. Tragic? Maybe. Funny? Definitely. Till next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.